Hey everybody, I hope you're enjoying your almost summer. I just want to make a quick video because I am in the market for a jet ski, and I am not obviously on a jet ski because I am in my car since I don't have one yet, but I hope to change that at the end of this week or next week. Lord only knows, because the whole pandemic, all that good stuff has been causing a lot of dealerships to only have, say 30 or 40 units compared to a couple of hundreds that they did last year. So it's been extremely tough to find half of anything of what I'm specifically looking for, and prices aren't, I should just say you're probably not getting the best deal because the supply is lower and the deals don't necessarily need to be as good because everybody wants to ski and there's not enough to go around. So at least with that being said, I've been looking in about that $10,000-ish range or so of the actual, just the ski itself. I need a trailer. Trailers start about $900 for a base one. Goes up to about $1,300 for a fancy aluminum one. You don't want to really spend $500 because those are the ones that start coming out. They start coming apart as you're driving them to A to B. So that's at least, I definitely need a trailer to go with the ski. And I've been looking at Sea-Doos and Yamahas, and between those, I'm probably going to be stuck with a Yamaha, and I don't really mean that in a bad way. It's just that I only have credit on the Yamaha side, but I still was looking at Sea-Doos because I had my eye on a GTI 90, for instance. That was really what I was shooting for, because that price point and everything, much, much better, and it's a full-size ski, which is fantastic, but it didn't really quite work out like that. So with that, at least that being said, I want to go over some of the other numbers and other factors going into, going actually buying one in that range. Again, this is nothing supercharged, nothing crazy like that. Like, this is like replacing my motorcycle. I'm trading in my motorcycle, and I want something to be able to take rides on the water and go with friends and then have fun still, and then still get to tow. And even the people in my family, everybody's, I wouldn't say older, but they're all full-grown adults, so I can't go out on a tiny ski. But anyway, let's get started with the info I got here. So this is again going to be between Sea-Doo and Yamaha. Starting with Sea-Doo, I was looking at this. So you have the GTI 130 SEs. That has your braking and reverse with the push of a button, cruise control, and a boarding step. And I believe the other models have a boarding step as well. But this one, the GTI 130 SE, looks like that one actually has no cruise control on it. So that's kind of like your higher top of the line version at that. Now that comes in at about $13,000. So the ski itself is $10,800, I believe. You have $900 for a trailer. You have about $300 that the dealer charges to build that ski. You have about $100 for a DMV cost. You have about $370 of that of tax. And just to check my notes quick, I think that covers, yeah, that's all the expense that goes into that. And actually, you have a $465 freight fee, again, in that same $13,000 number. Yamaha's freight is $425, so it's slightly cheaper, like whatever that is. It's just $40 or $30, whatever the heck it is. So negligible. But all of that is in that $13,000 number. So that's going in there. You pick out your ski, you get the trailer, they put it on there, they give you your license plate, and you are good to go hop in the water, maybe. Because I don't know what the DMV situation is currently, but that's what's in that number. So that's the higher end GTI 130, right in about $13,000 there. If you want to forego cruise control, you can bring it down a notch to the $12,000 range. So $12,000 trailer, all of those fees and stuff included. And that's for the GTI 130, and that gets rid of cruise control essentially. So without that, you save a big little-ish chunk of money off of that. And then if you want to jump down a little bit further for $11,100, you have the GTI 90. So they all share the same hull, which is fantastic because you have the same size ski, the same storage. You have a 15.5 gallon gas tank on there. So all that's the same. You just have a smaller engine. So granted, maybe not as much pickup, but it still goes almost 50 miles an hour. You get better fuel efficiency, and it's hopefully a little bit lighter on your pocket. And again, that comes in at $11,100, and that was really what I wanted. I absolutely was hoping I could pull that off. It's just unfortunately I couldn't actually get even just a regular loan because I have financing from Yamaha because I've gotten their motorcycles before, and that's sort of like my only option that I'm stuck with because yeah, you know, fellas, your wife ain't gonna be co-signing for a jet ski, especially if you know, she'll maybe take a ride on it once or twice or whatever, but that's your toy and you are paying for it. So that is the boat that I'm in, pun intended. But anyway, so that's kind of my situation. So moving on to the Yamaha side, they start with their EX series, or I'm starting from the bottom, I guess, going up. So the EX series from Yamaha, cheap, comes in $9,900, so $9,900. That's with a manual reverse, so no button for that. You have to actually enable that. Now that's a smaller ski, so granted it's cheaper. It's a smaller ski. Comes with a 13.5 gallon gas tank. Comes with about 100 horsepower, but it's also lighter. It's about 500, I think, and 40 pounds, something like that. So you'd have much less, at least on storage. You don't have any watertight storage, and it can tow, but it's really not great at towing. The dealerships all advised against it, like it's just too light to really be able to do that. And even the videos I've seen of people with an EX, they kind of just really want a bigger ski. It was just like that was the lowest price point that they needed to come in at, and then, you know, we'll just have to wait to upgrade. If you want to bump up to where you have the braking and reverse in there at the push of a button, so Yamaha calls that their ride technology. The EX Deluxe comes in at $11,000, and that gives you that benefit of a push button reverse. It's just that at $11,000, because you don't get cruise control on the EX whatsoever. It's a smaller ski. There's no variation of it, at least as far as that goes. So at $11,000, you really might as well get a GTI 90 because it's a full-size ski. It has a bigger gas tank, and it's just it's heavier. It would be better off for towing and that kind of thing. So I've really, in every manner, as much as I wanted that to work to save some money, was not an option because everybody just was like, you need to go with a bigger ski. I wouldn't do that. You'd really want to have storage, especially if you go out for a while. You got to put your food somewhere. You know, if you're bringing a tube and a couple of people, it's just not going to cut it on that smaller ski. So that brought me to Yamaha's VX series, and the VX series, that starts at about $10,000. However, none of the dealerships here have those really in stock, like the base one anyway. So I ended up putting my name on a VX Deluxe, which comes at about $10,600 or $699 for just the jet ski itself. The overall total with the trailer and all that is about $12,800. And the nice thing with the Yamaha, so really, it has all the same stuff as the GTI SE, just plus one, or well, two extra perks, I should say. So the Yamaha VX Deluxe, you have the ride technology, you have cruise control, and Yamaha also has intelligent, whatchamacallit, sorry, it's not intelligent, it's a no wake button on there. So you can push the no wake button, and that will bring you to about 5 or so miles an hour. It gets you going a little bit faster, so you're not just sitting at idle, and if you have a bunch of no wake zones to worry about. So where I live on the near the Connecticut River here, there's a ton of no wake zones. So I would be using that button all day long, and I would much rather have that, especially if my wife gets her license and is driving. All she has to do is hit the button, so this way you're cruising along. So that's a nice plus. And the Yamahas also have an 18.5 gallon tank, which is nice. Excuse me, that was unexpected. Sorry. So I've been eating Burger King pre-video here, no surprise. But anyway, so the Yamaha gives you that extra benefit of that no wake button on there and the bigger gas tank, and that gas tank will get you about 5 or so 5.6 or 5.4 hours out on the water if you're at its most efficient speed. So that had a whole lot of bonuses, and it's still coming in cheaper than that GTI 130 SE, and I don't really understand why Sea-Doo didn't put in a bigger gas tank on there. So another thing to mention is with Sea-Doo, you still can take $600 off of that price, and if not, you can take $300 off, and then you'll get a 3-year warranty. Or alternatively, for Yamaha, you can either take $500 off of the price, same numbers I gave you, and if you forgo the $500, you can get a 5-year warranty. So everybody I just about talked to suggests taking the warranty. If you're buying the thing outright or something like that and have extra money, then okay, then not necessarily no sense in getting it, but if you're doing okay and then something comes up, then fine, maybe forego it. But otherwise, for people like me, most certainly want a warranty, because I want that thing to be taken care of. Now, another thing just to mention, both manufacturers offer 2.99% at 36 months. That's at least nice for those that qualify for it. You got to have really good credit in order to even get that. You have no interest and no payments for 90 days between both manufacturers as well. It's just that may change your APR, so just keep that in mind. Now, other than that, between the two manufacturers, reliability always comes up. Everybody worries about that. And I've at least talked to a couple of dealerships, and while they still seem to lean on the Yamaha side, and again, this is what I've heard, not personal experience. I mean, motorcycle-wise, for instance, I've had Yamahas and I've had Suzukis, and I would probably buy just about any other brand if I liked the motorcycle that I was getting. So it would be the same thing with jet skis. I really wanted to get a GTI 90 because that's really where my budget is most comfortable in this whole thing. Yeah. So reliability, it seems to come down between both brands. It's more important that you're winterizing the jet ski properly, and you're doing your regular maintenance and washing the thing and cleaning it out when you're done after using it. That seems to be the biggest variable of whether you're going to have a successful year on the water or not. So that was more the bigger deal when it actually came to having things go wrong and that kind of thing, and also potentially not jumping 20-foot waves. Like I don't know. I mean, for me, I live on a river, and there's no 20-foot waves coming in out of there. I may get to go down to the Sound and maybe see something like that, but it's really a non-issue, I think, for me. So other than that, between the two manufacturers, though, as far as difference goes, and technology, as far as engine-wise, is the Sea-Doo has closed-loop cooling, and the difference of that is that has basically like a car radiator, essentially, and antifreeze. That's basically what that is. So antifreeze circulates throughout the engine. It goes down to a heat exchanger, which is a metal plate on the bottom of the ski towards the back, and that antifreeze circulates through there, and as it makes contact through the water, it sheds that heat as you go. The benefits would just be is the inside of your engine is certainly going to be nice and clean, but just keep in mind, though, a Sea-Doo still has to suck in water to cool the exhaust. It all still goes through that, and when you go and you're finished for the day, you still need to clean that out. It's just you're not cleaning out the entire engine, where the Yamaha, being an open loop cooling, is the entire engine is where that water circulates from. So it gets sucked in from whatever you're on. And then again, you know, the potential issue is just if you're riding in really corrosive water, if you're in salt water, if you're in water that has a lot of debris and stuff like that in there, that's getting sucked in there. But keep in mind, the engines are designed to handle that, and they're still very resistant to that, but you just need to be cleaning that out. It's just one of those things that you don't just go out and use it and then don't take care of the thing, because that's when you're going to have problems. So you just need to do your due diligence and owning it and taking care of it, and that really should be that. And, you know, if you want to talk about maybe advantages and disadvantages, again, the Sea-Doo might have the cleaner engine, but that it's a little bit more or less efficient way to shed heat. So while it may be cleaner on the engine side, you know, you might have a little bit warmer engine temperatures, where on the Yamaha side, you know, it's a little more simple sucking that water in and cooling it, and it's also getting into where that heat actually is. So that heat exchange is going to be, again, a little bit more efficient, and you might have maybe lower overall engine temperatures. But again, I'm sure that's something that's pretty negligible, because if you're not in a supercharged skier or something that's generating that much heat, it's really going to be, you know, I'm sure no big deal. So with that being said, you know, pick the ski that is right for you. You know, like if you're in the Sea-Doo side, for instance, right, you might like that they look probably a little bit nicer. They you know, their styling is definitely cool. Their colors are generally much better overall. And, you know, so that might be part of a factor. You know, you might also like that all of their skis, they're roughly the same size. It's a full-size ski, even if you want to go with a smaller engine. It's very, very nice to have. And a lot of them, they have a nice, cool speaker setup if you want something like that and don't want to pay a bunch of money for it. But, you know, you have that option. Whereas, you know, on the Yamaha side, it's just, you know, you might like I said, the fancier electronics on the VX is kind of cool. You know, if you want a smaller ski that, you know, you can take around and basically Tokyo drift it, as far as from what I hear. You can kind of like let the back end come out on the EXs, which sound like a little cool. Just, you're not going to be towing people on that. And like I said, the Yamaha VXs, they're basically your GTI equivalent. It's just that it's a little bit harder to get into the cheaper price range there, because no matter what you do, you're still going to be at least around that $12,000 range, and they're just even more difficult, I think, to find. Like, I've seen some GTI 90s around, and certainly 130 SEs, but I've found like one Yamaha VX Deluxe, and then if not, it's been some of the more expensive models. So the important thing is that if you're looking for one, I hope that you find one. I hope you get to get out there and enjoy, well, we're almost in summer, but I hope you get to enjoy your summer out there and have a nice time. Be safe while you're on the water. I hope my next video is actually on the thing, but we'll see. It's only a week or two away, and like I said, if you're in that same situation, I wish you luck, and I hope you enjoy your summer. And please like and subscribe if it's something you enjoyed, or at least were entertained. And if not, you can certainly dislike the video. But again, thank you, and be safe out there. All right, take care. Bye, guys.